because he doesn't have to do that. But you know, I chose not to go with all his big accolades and all of these things. I chose. Here he comes! Huh? Um, hello, hello. Yes,
Hey,
there you are. You
so
are.
this is exciting. So I was just hosting a clubhouse room with Les Brown, and I said, I need to run because I got to go do this IG Live with Tess. Let's go. We're here. It's happening.
Yes, it is happening. So
From one
here we
great
go.
leader to the next, here we are, Tess.
You are the great leader. And we have 25 minutes. So please, guys, let me know when I'm coming to the end. Okay? So this thing started because you said, I listened to you, and you
Okay.
said we have to meet our followers, our friends where they are.
Mm-hmm.
And that triggered me because, as you know, we have followers from the globe. You know, we have Rosie 3 hours away, Zan 3 hours away, all the people we know in England, and all 5, 6 hours, 10.5 hours in India. And this thread dropped in my lap and said, do a live so they can be awake or getting up in the middle of the day. So that's why I did this. So I'm not wasting time. So here we go.
Okay, I'm ready.
What intrigues you, Evan Carmichael?
What intrigues me?
Yes.
People, like why they do what they do, why they stay stuck in their stories, what drives them to serve and step outside their comfort zone and lead into courage. People intrigue me. The whole, yeah, go ahead.
So people intrigue you, and then you mentioned like 6 things about people that intrigued you. So which is the most burning one that really intrigues you?
How to get people to believe in themselves more.
Okay, so you found that is the most intriguing thing. Your big word is believe, and you are an introvert. As an introvert, what is the burning desire that make you decide, I am going to go out there and make people believe in themselves?
Because introvert or not, everybody wants to serve. All of us want to wake up and feel like today matters to somebody. We want to feel like our work matters. We want to feel like we're contributing to something. And some of that is, you, me, Zen, Rosie, the people you mentioned, movement makers, people, we want to impact the world. And some people just want to impact the closest people to them. But we all want to feel like what we do today matters. And when we do that consistently, that's a path to fulfillment and happiness and abundance and success. And when we feel like it doesn't matter for too many days in a row, if you woke up every day and felt like, it doesn't matter, nobody cares if I show up, nobody cares what I do, that's the path down to depression, suicide. That's a really dark path. We all want to feel like we do things that matter. So introvert or not, this is what Tess, this is what I struggled with for so many years to get started. If you look and see my growth and my path, and I've shared it, a million times in different places, it was a slow start. It was a really slow start, Tess. It was a really slow start. And a lot of that is because of me, because I didn't think I could do it. I didn't know how introverts could get out in front of the camera. I felt like it wasn't my place. So you're conflicted of like, this isn't who I am, but I also want to serve. So how do I do it? And you just are kind of stuck with the gas and the brake pushed at the same time, never moving. And so I had to slowly learn to let go of the brake, sorry. And it was a slow let go, and I think what I'm trying to do and what your story is great for as well is just showing people to let go of the brake faster so you can start accelerate towards the life you want, and as well as impact other people too. Like what you did was so inspiring to me, that you joined Movement Makers, not even quite sure what to do. They say 100 video challenge. How do I use Instagram? And then like, boom, you're doing it. She's doing it. You posted you did 100 videos in under 100 days. Just kept going. I don't even know what number you're at right now. And the willingness to just ask for help, the willingness to not pretend like you have all the answers, the willingness to be, fumble around and just try to figure stuff out as we're going, to not worry about having the perfect plan at the start. Like, that's all stuff that I struggled with tremendously. And you just did it. It's great to just watch you go off and do it. And now here you are.
Yeah, interviewing the King of Kings. So now, what you said, you went out and you did it. You took your foot off the brakes, you press it on the gas, and you went. Was there somebody that came from behind you, like you did me, and just said, you push you up?
Not as much as I wish, I guess there was. There are three kinds of people that I guess I give some credit to, but I think it was my own, I don't know, whether it was stubbornness or just lack of belief or what, that I just didn't seek it out faster. Like, to your credit, you sought it out. You saw Movement Makers, like, you know what? I'll give it a shot and see what happens. I didn't move fast enough. So if I look at some of the people, though, I mean, my parents, especially my mom, they're on my wall behind me. They didn't push me towards this, but they always pushed me towards whatever I wanted to do. So whenever I didn't believe in myself, it was always them and their message and the voice in my ear of, you're Evan Carmichael, you can do anything you believe that you can. And I never even talked to them about this, but just that's why they're on the wall behind me, is just knowing that there's always that belief in me, even if I don't believe in myself. There's virtual mentors. So I learned a lot from Les Brown. I mean, it was a full circle moment, I guess, in that I'm hosting a clubhouse room with him and we're on the same stage together. But I looked up to him a bunch, when I was getting started, to say, that's what's possible. Like, somebody could do that speaking is a thing, that, there's a world out there that could exist. I may not ever get to Les Brown level, but I could make some progress. And then the third was my agent, Steve. He came into the picture 5 years in or so on my YouTube journey, and kept pushing me and kept giving me guidance. And he didn't really know much about YouTube. It was just more about speaking and getting a message out, and that was really helpful. And honestly, I'd be remiss if I didn't also mention Nina in that list, because just to support. So Nina's my wife, anybody who doesn't know Nina. She didn't give me any advice on what to do, but just having somebody to support you no matter what, I think is fantastic. I put this graph on my Instagram not too long ago of just showing from the day I married Nina to the growth of my YouTube channel. And it's crazy. Just my channel blew up. Everybody needs a Nina in their life. Don't take mine. But just having somebody that supports you regardless, that's not going to laugh at you for your videos or laugh at you for your ideas, and more than just not laugh, I think, is actually be a cheerleader. Nina, of all the people, before Nina was in 2 long-term relationships, 5 years plus, and they were never unsupportive. They never told me that I sucked or I shouldn't do it, but this was my thing, and then they did their thing. Where with Nina, she's like, can I come? Can I come to your speaking gig? It's like, yeah, you can come, but you're going to be bored. Like, it's business stuff. Don't worry about it. It's like, no, but I want to come. I'm like, what? Why? Like, what? Why do you want to come? You don't even care about just to support you. You're like, oh, oh, okay. And it it felt really good, just to have somebody sit there in the front row that you can always look to have somebody supporting you. So even though it wasn't like the same push, like when you phrased the question, I thought of how I pushed you. I said, Tess, here's what you need to do. You need to go make 100 videos. You need to go do Instagram Live. I never got the that kind of like tactical push of here's what you need to go and specifically do next, but it was more just the loving push, I guess, or the inspiring pull towards that made me want to go off and do more.
Okay, I have two things one statement I'm going to make and then a question.
Okay.
The statement is, when you talk about Nina, I know you were born in religion because it just is, but you don't practice. But there is something I want you to read, and you will see why I think every time you talk about Nina, I remember that woman. And it's the 31st chapter of Proverbs, and the second half of the 31st chapter of Proverbs. It talks about the wise woman. And you talk about Nina, and it reminds me of that every time. So just for you to check it out.
Okay.
But is that, you said there was not a you behind you, meaning there was not someone like you. Is that why you are behind so many of us to lift us up and to, I said you reach down because you are right up there, but you reach down and you drop your hand to pull all of us up. Is that why you are it's such an insatiable thing for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody wants to do that. So yes, I mean, the more that we see ourselves in other people, we want to help those people, right? Like your purpose comes from your pain. So the more that we can see somebody who's like us, you know, I see you, even though we're the same age, I see you as being, 19-year-old Evan. Or maybe not quite 19-year-old Evan. I think, when did I start making YouTube videos? 2009, sorry, how old I was then. Like, I see that in you. I see that in movement makers. I see that in all the people who I help. It's just me. And I want you to go faster than me, because you guys all have such important messages and missions, and I want to help it get out to the world so you can reach people that I can't reach. But I don't think that's anything special, honestly. Like, I think everybody has that. I think we all want to serve, and who do we want to serve the most is the people that currently are who we used to be. And I'm basically just being my mom for everybody, but I'm also giving tactics. Like, my mom would encourage me to go sell my baseball cards when I'm 12 or 13 years old and negotiate with 40 and 50-year-olds, and would fly me down to Dunedin, Florida during spring training because the Blue Jays played there. And I'd sit in the parking lot all morning to get autographs of the players. And like, she didn't really even care that much about baseball, right? It was just, she saw my interest in it and she wanted to support it to the best that she could without having the tactics to say, go do this, right? Just the supportive push, I guess, that's all. So I'm trying to do that for you guys. I'm channeling my mom, but then, hey, I also know a thing or two about how to accomplish it. So I'm going to tell you what to do as well. But again, I don't think that's anything extra special. I mean, I think it is very special, and it's kind, and it's a gift, but I think everybody has that ability and everybody has that desire.
So everybody is not doing it. Mm-hmm. You are one of the few that is doing it really, you do it differently than most of the Titans. You do it in a way that you look for the tiny person in a small group and you pull them up, like your Alex. You mm-hmm. talk about Alex a lot, and then when you look at Alex's history, you see what you did with Alex. There is not much of you that will turn to an Alex. You are unique in that way. So how can we, who wants to find our own Alex, what it is we have to look for so we can lift that person up with us as we're going up, as you did with Alex?
So I don't know that everybody needs to, I love the little person, like, not that Alex is short, but just like the startup person, like, because that was me, right? Like, I was the one that was started from nothing, like $300 a month. And so I was, I do a gaming live stream and answer questions while I play Minecraft. Yeah, I know. And there's a guy who showed up named Henry who's homeless. He's homeless right now. And I'm helping him through the process of making videos. And he just made a video about how he's embarrassed to be living in his car, And as I was helping him, I started thinking about I was trying to tell stories that relate because I've never been homeless, thankfully. But I realize there's a lot of people who are homeless who I've helped that you would never know were homeless, right? From the guy who I let sleep in my office for a year just to get himself settled, to lots of different people who are homeless, and I've helped them. I don't think everybody has to be that, though. I think all you have to do is, there are some people that we get connected to. I'm connected to you. I love your energy. I love your vibe. I love your smile. I love how you show up for people. I love how you laugh. I love how you try to help and encourage, right? And it's not just because you're in Toronto, and it's not just because we're the same age, and but you're also not homeless. It's like it doesn't. So it's just, when you feel connected to somebody, you just try to figure out a way to help them. And I'll do things that don't make sense. And I'll spend time with people that, like air quotes, don't make sense. Like, why are you spending so much time with this one person? I don't know. It feels right. Like, if you want to call it divine intervention, if you want to call it follow your bliss, if you want to call it, I don't know. It just feels right. And what I've learned is, every time that I follow that intuition and it flows through me, then it just leads to a good place. It just happens so many times, over and over and over and over and over again, that when you find somebody that you just feel some kind of connection to for whatever reason, even though it might feel awkward or embarrassing, it's like, why do I care so much about this person? Have you ever had that? Like, why? I should not even know this person. Why do I care so much about them? Right? Why do I care so much if they go and they make that phone call, or pick up that rabbit, or like whatever the thing is that they're, I don't know, but I care so much. And so I have to do it. And Nina's seen it enough in me that she knows, like, okay, well, Evan's going to go off on this journey now. It's like, it doesn't make sense to anybody else. It doesn't even make sense to me. It just, there's something there. And so I don't want to, otherwise I'll stay up like Tess. It drives me nuts. If I think of something that I might want to tell you, that for whatever reason I forget, or I'm embarrassed, or I'm worried that how you're going to judge my message or whatever, I'll stay up all night. Like, I wouldn't sleep, because like I need to just do this. And it's never backfired on me. It doesn't always lead to some great giant result. But the more you just trust the feelings that come, I think it's a good path. I think it's a noble path. I think it's a path worth walking.
Well, I was taught that a good leader leads from his heart. And although he might have to go to war, he still leads from his heart. And the things that you're saying tells me that it's always coming from inside of you. But you say that. You said it has to bring you joy. What you do must bring you joy. Why is it so important to you to say that, to feel that joy?
I think it's a human need. Like, don't we all want to have joy? I think if you ask people, do you want joy in your life? I don't think many people are going to say, no, don't want joy.
No. They want happiness. They want happiness.
Well, here's the thing. So I would break down, whether it's joy or happiness, I would break it down into two. There's two parts to happiness for me. There's excitement and fulfillment. And the excitement is, I get to try this new thing. I get to go buy the new iPhone 13. I get to have a Tesla. I get to go on that vacation. I get to drink a Tim Hortons coffee. I get to whatever. It's like these momentary things, which are great and fun and worth chasing down and worth doing. But it's not sustenance. It's not enough to fulfill you. It's not true happiness, because you're just jumping from one happy peak to the next. The thing in between is fulfillment, and that's from serving. That's from helping. That's from feeling like that on this live today, whether it's Cher or Tarun or Bella or, new life speaker or whoever else, that maybe something that one of us said was important enough to them that it sparked something for them too, right? And that's the underbelly of joy. That's the deep rooted feeling like what you're doing matters. And then when you compare those things together, the fulfillment plus the excitement, don't stop chasing those things if you want them. You like skydiving, great. I love it. Go for it. I'm happy for you. As long as it's not, hurting somebody else or against your core values, go for it. but it's got to be matched with fulfillment, which feels like you're doing something important.
When you look at
Tess is a great interviewer, by the way. What do you guys think? Do you like Tess? She's so great. Give some hearts in the chat if you like Tess and her interviews. This is fantastic. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. That was it. That was a flow moment. I just felt that. So like, you know what? I'm going to interrupt Tess on her own show to tell her that I think she's a great interviewer.
Thank you. I have to get better. One of the things that I wanted to ask you is, what message, because I get it now because of my 1,000 videos, I get it from others. What message can you give to, I know we have movement makers here, we have new movement makers here, that they're doing the video and they have only one person, like you, it's your mom or your sister. Like me, it's my daughter, not my son. He goes, Mom, you're crazy. So there's this one person that comes to watch it. What message what can I say to them? Or you, tell me, what would you say to them? They have one viewer.
And they're what? And they're upset that they don't have 10 or 100 or 1,000 or 1,000,000?
Yes.
That you need to focus on who is paying attention as opposed to who's not. You know, we talked about that a little bit today inside Movement Makers. If you only play the game of who you're not reaching, that's a game that you never win and that never ends. You know, that there's always more. I have 3 million subscribers on YouTube. I could have 5. I could have 10. I could have 30. If I'm just constantly unhappy with who I'm not reaching, you're never going to be happy. And it doesn't mean be complacent, and doesn't mean just stay stuck and just only be grateful for where you're at. I'm aggressive. Like, I want to solve the world's biggest problem. I attack things, right? So I'm not just sitting on whatever number and saying, okay, well, I'm just really grateful and I'm not going to move. Like, I think you can, I put that slide in Movement Makers of gratitude plus growth. Like, I think you can have both. I think you can be equally grateful for who you have and who you are serving, and be aggressive about wanting to grow. You don't have to sacrifice either if that becomes your intention. So if there's only one person who's watching right now, that's one person who you might change. If there's 10 people who watch, those are 10 people. Like, assume that for the 10 people who watch, somebody in there is going to have a life-changing moment. You know, and here, you guys are awesome. You're leaving some great comments. Tess is getting a lot of love. Tess, you should try to go back and watch some of the chat because you got a lot of love there. It means something. You know, it means something to people. And in the Movement Maker session today, I shared a slide from Erasmo. So Erasmo asked the question, our theme today was, how do you become a person of influence? And I started off with saying, well, you already are, right? Like, you already are a person of influence. You already are impacting people. And I showed a video of him where he had 37 views and 10 comments. And the comments were, fire, I love this session, thank you so much. And it's easy to look at that and say 37 views and 10 comments, say, man, I suck. Like, 37 views, I did all that work for 37 views. But that's a losing game, right? Like, because once you get a new standard, once you start hitting 100 views a video or 500, you'll get that moment of excitement to say, wow, I hit this new mark. And then that you're going to get used to. And so more important is to figure out, how can you have gratitude for the people who are watching, to say, hey, 37 people watch this video. That's wild. 39 people right now are watching this. That's crazy. Hello, everybody, right? Like, if you were to go speak at a library or join Tess in her amazing backyard, all 39 of us, that'd be a wild little party that we'd be throwing there, right? But it's easy to say, well, it's not 400, so I suck, right? So when you focus on the people who you do have, it gives you a lot more fulfillment to feel like what you're doing is important, instead of operating from a place of, I suck, I'm not growing fast enough, and I'm never going to get there.
Well, this could go on all day and all night, but I know you're a very busy man, and I don't want to ask you any more questions, because I don't want you to go over this amazing time. I want to set a precedent that I keep to my time. You were on time and I was on time. It's very important. It's very important to me. But before you go, if you had something to say to me, because you're my coach, you better do it now.
Just more.
This is number 3 for the day. There is one more to go.
That's it. It's like, just you see the happiness that it brings you. You know that you're already on 3 and you're still smiling and you're still, you're having a ton of fun and you see the impact. We already see, the comments and the love. And by you, now obviously, yes, we're taking care of our mental health and not going crazy, but more. You could do more. And more doesn't only mean volume, but also just intention. Intention of who you bring on, intention of how you show up, intention of what questions that you ask, intention of what's the vibe I want to give off when people are watching the content. How do I want people to feel, when they finish watching one of my streams or videos? Just more, If you were to think of what would the boldest version of Tess do right now, right? Then do that.
Wow.
That's more, right? Like, and that's a good question for all of you to ask. Tarun, Chuck and Viewzone, Elena, if the boldest version of you were to come here and talk to you right now, what would he or she say? And a good coach, that's really all they're trying to do. They're just trying to summon the boldest version of you to reflect that back and say, here's what you need to go off and do. So you're already doing it, and everybody would look at you and say, man, you're crushing it. And again, you hit the target faster than anybody in the group, and you had the least experience coming in. I love it.
Thank you.
More.
But that was not funny. That the day you said that, I looked at him and I said, he's just a child. That's what I said. And he's telling me,
we're the same age, Tess. Come on.
I know. I'm sure we are. So more. I understand. Of course, I won't stop. I do not know how to ever give up. And a challenge is a joke for me. When you challenge me, I just say, yeah, right on, let's go. So what I am so humbled, and I am, I don't know what to say. It has been a wonderful, wonderful experience. And all of you who came here, movement makers, if you like what I do, join Movement Makers. That's where you're supposed to go. It's not expensive, and you can have a lot of fun. You meet great people, and there are lots of people there that they'll hold your hand. Somebody's going to hold your hand, and you will get where you want to go. And I am looking forward to more amazing time with Movement Makers and you and all of us. So join us. It's easy. It's on Evan's stream, and you call me, and I'll tell you what to do. DM me, sorry. And I'll tell you what to do. I'm still learning the lingo.
You got it. I love it, Tess. It's great.
So thank you so much for your presence here today. And everybody, I am grateful for your presence. Gratitude is a big deal for me. And I really, truly appreciate you, each and every one of you, for coming. And I hope you left here today with a nugget, a rare pearl, or that pink Canadian diamond. If you got that, make sure you use it, because it will take you where you want to go. So thank you so much.
I got to run, but one last quick message, just in the spirit of gratitude, because, when Tess talks, she kind of oozes gratitude as well. If there's somebody in your life or on social who's had an impact on you, somebody who's trying to get started at the beginning of their journey and they're struggling, just give them a little bit of love today. If you like Tess, if you're new here, you're coming from my audience, you've never met Tess before, and you're a fan now, just go leave a comment, go send a DM. Everybody's homework today. We talked about service, we talked about gratitude, we talked about happiness, we talked about fulfillment. The best way to do it is to go take some immediate action on it today. Everybody's homework assignment today is to we challenge Tess, now we challenge you. Okay, Tess's audience. Send a video DM to somebody who you follow who's had an impact on your life, and just thank them. It's like 8 seconds of your life. Whether it's Tess, whether it's somebody else, just to Antonio saying Thankful Thursday. Yeah, lean in on Thankful Thursday. An 8-second video DM to somebody who you follow, who doesn't have a lot of following, and just say, thank you for what you do. It means the world to me, in like 2 seconds as to why. And that's the greatest gift that you can give me, you can give Tess, and you can give yourself and the person you're connecting with.
And
Tess,
thank you so much.
I
love you too. I love
you
too. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Much love, everybody. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you. Bye, everyone.